There's a place just a few hours from Manila where time slows down and nature takes the spotlight. Welcome to Wonderlast as we revisit a sanctuary carved by the earth and protected by those who believe in its power. Masungi Georeserve. Masungi Georeserve is a conservation area and a geological wonder tucked in the Sierra Madre mountain range in Baras, Rizal. It's home to rare karst formations that have been around for millions of years. Jagged limestone peaks rising like the spine of a sleeping dragon. More than just a scenic spot, Masungi is a protected area established in 2017 as the Masungi Geopark Project, an initiative of Masungi Georeserve Foundation Incorporated and Department of Environment and Natural Resources. It's a living testament that conservation and tourism can coexist. We started the Discovery Trail at 10:45 in the morning. We passed through a daylight hole to start the 25-minute hike to the Sapot. The trail follows man-made steps formed from rocks and concrete. We saw some interesting rock formations along the way. This one looks like a skull. Then we came across the first challenge, climbing up the large net like Spider-Man, but with helmets. This rock looks like the Pride Rock from the Lion King movie. There's a series of upward and downward narrow passageways with sharp limestone rocks on either side. Each step brought us closer to the peak, across the web-like Sapot. To get to the Sapot, you have to walk carefully across a hanging bridge that is made of interweaving cables. Sapot means spider web, and here you're standing on a massive one, a steel web suspended over limestone cliffs, giving you a 360-degree view of the valley below. It's the first breathtaking moment of the trail, where most of us fell silent and all fell in love with the view. There's a giant spider up here. But don't worry, it's not crawling anywhere. It has major commitment issues and zero plans of moving. So yes, you're safe, unless you've got a fear of heights. This is Sapot, one of the highlights of Masungi's Discovery Trail. It's a massive steel web suspended above the limestone cliffs. Part viewing deck, part adrenaline test. There's a dark crevice nearby too, but we didn't dare explore it. Who knows, the real giant spiders might be hiding in there. Up here, you can lie down, snap photos, crawl underneath, or channel your inner Spider-Man. Just one rule: never ever go over the edge. Even Spider-Man knows his limits. Then, we crossed a hanging bridge made of wooden planks, swaying gently with the wind. It creaked and wobbled with every step, just enough to keep things exciting. But before you reach Tagpuan, you pass through a small cave called Lunga ni Tita. At Tagpuan, you'll find this hammock where you can rest for a while and a crevice where we can pause, pose, and take pictures. This is me posing under the fissure. A quiet resting spot where hikers pause, breathe, and reconnect with nature and with each other. After Tagpuan, we crouched through a narrow passageway called Suupan. We continued trekking for 15 minutes until we reached Quago. There's a big round swing here that can accommodate 4 people.
Ikot pa!
This is Patak, shaped like a raindrop suspended mid-air. It's not just a shelter, it's a quiet moment floating between sky and earth. You pause here, breathe, and feel how even the smallest drop can still make ripples. This is Ditse, the little sister rock. She may be smaller and quieter, but don't underestimate her. She stands above the forest floor with grace and provides the entrance to Bayawak. This is Bayawak, named after the monitor lizard known for climbing rocks with ease. The ascent may challenge your grip and courage, but the view at the top and the thrill of descent, absolutely worth it. The trio of Patak, Ditse, Bayawak was a terrific triple treat. This is Duyan, a massive rope hammock stretched between trees, swaying gently above the forest floor. Here, you're caught between earth and sky, suspended, safe, and free. Inside the earth lies Yungib, a peaceful refuge carved by time. Its silence is sacred, a reminder that even with the hardest stones, stillness can dwell. They stand side by side, Tatay and Nanay, the father and the mother of the trail. These towering limestone formations have watched over Masungi for millions of years, weathered by time, but never broken. Tatay stands tall, rugged, and protective. Nanay is gentler, quieter, but no less strong. Reaching the top feels like being welcomed by nature's own guardians. It's a view that silences you, a moment that humbles you. They stand like guardians of the trail, Tatay and Nanay, the father and the mother rocks. Strong, still, and timeless, a poetic end to the hike and a tribute to the quiet majesty of the natural world. Antayan is where we rested. With every breeze, the forest speaks, and we listen. Liwasan, it's a garden in the heart of the wild, a space for reflection before the trail winds down. Each stop in Masungi isn't just a checkpoint. It's a chapter, a story of connection with nature, with others, and with your own sense of wonder.